Hey, what is up, everybody? We'll give it a little bit to let people come in. Hey, how's it going? Looks like we got somebody who's joined in. Welcome, welcome. Just here in Dumaguete. I'm gonna be going to bed early tonight because I have a bunch of stuff to do for YouTube tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'll be meeting up with Mike and interviewing him. He'll be interviewing me as well. Um, yeah, that's that's a big thing on the plate for tomorrow. Have plans to chat with Paul on Saturday. That should go well. Feel free to chime in with any questions or thoughts. Had a job interview late last night. I'm not sure how that went. We'll see. I think the recruiter will reach out to me if there are next steps or if there are not next steps. Have another job interview next week. So we'll see how they go. Um, yeah, I've just been enjoying my time here. Oh, welcome, Macau Streets. I'm not sure. I'll have to pop that in the translator. Um, oh, good afternoon. Yeah, great to see you. Welcome to the stream. I'm not sure what time it is. If you're on the same time zone, Macau, it's about 7:15 p.m. here in the Philippines. The sun just went down maybe an hour and a half ago. I took an afternoon nap. I've just been really sleepy for whatever reason the last week. So I slept like 9 hours last night. Woke up at like 10 o'clock this morning, and then had an afternoon nap. Hopefully that won't stop me from getting to sleep at a decent time tonight. I'd like to go. Oh, I'm already yawning. I like to go to sleep around 10 p.m. So probably about 2.5 hours from now, I'd like to be in bed. Got the alarm set for early in the morning. I'll hop on jeepney and go to town, and then hop on a trike and head to the location to meet Mike, and we'll knock out an interview. I've got some questions for him that I've compiled that I think should be helpful. Um, but yeah, that's mostly it. The weather's been off and on, kind of hot. Some days are cooler, some days are hotter. I did get to go swimming the other day, which was pretty nice. I went and uh, swam at the beach uh, here in Bakong. That was really nice. Well, it's good. I guess it's good. I'm still sleepy. I was worried after I took my nap this afternoon that it might I might be wired and wide awake and not able to go to sleep early tonight. So that's a good sign. Macau says, anything interesting you experienced in Dumagetti you'd want to share? Sure. Great question, Macau. I've been able to meet with a lot of people on the boulevard. You all are probably familiar with the boulevard. It's like there's a lot of vloggers do their interviews down there. It's it's right in front of the kind of the I would say it's like one of the nicer parts of the city, or maybe the more foreign catering parts of the city. They've got a lot of nice coffee shops down there. Hung out in Tom Tom's Coffee yesterday. I was there for like probably 5 hours, just working on some editing, also just watching some videos, um, also doing some job applications online. Um, they have really great smoothies. A little bit pricey, but the quality is really good. I would say it's like not quite as high as American prices, maybe like half the American price. I paid about $4 for a smoothie, but the taste is really good. I went with a blueberry smoothie, um, so that was nice. What else? What else? Um, Been to Darwin a couple of times. I found a really nice pizza place in Darwin, and then also, it's just a nice place to go walking because you can see the water from the the highway. What else has been yeah, I mean, just meeting foreigners on the boulevard has been really interesting. Have gotten to meet several different guys that all have interesting stories, and I'm always trying to find out what brought you here to Dumagetti. Um, what It's a very specific place, right? I mean, you're flying to the Philippines in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and then you're flying to a specific area of the Philippines, and so you really have to go out of your way to get here. It's not like a place I think people get to by accident. Um, and they've had a lot to share with me about their experiences. Like, it's been a great sort of it's provided a great tutorial in a lot of ways because I came here 5 years ago and I enjoyed my time, but I didn't really interact with foreigners at all, on my last trip. A little bit in Camigan Island. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Uh, so I didn't interact with foreigners last time, and this time it's been mostly interacting with foreigners, some Filipino people as well, but interacting with a lot of different foreigners, which has been great to learn a lot of things that I just wouldn't learn, right? I mean, there's there's the Filipino perspective, which is extremely important. And at one time, I was the type that I thought, I don't want to interact with foreigners. I just want to interact with Filipino people. But now that I've gotten better at being a judge of character and meeting different foreigners, then they're really able to catch me up and help me get all kinds of insight into living here long term. One guy I hung out with several times on the boulevard. He's been here for almost 3 years, so he has a lot to impart. He's from North Carolina, and I'm from Tennessee, so we also have a lot in common as far as being from neighboring states back home. And I think culturally there's some interesting synergy there. I wasn't expecting to meet people from the southern U.S. for whatever reason. I just didn't expect to meet so many people from where I'm from. So that's been really nice to have those experiences. How are you doing, Michael? How's it going in your area? Macau Street says enjoying the food in Dumaguete. Yeah, I mean, it's the food here is solid. I had some fish and chips yesterday. That was really tasty. The Today I had more fried chicken at Crispy King. Crispy King is just easy. It's like within walking distance of where I'm staying. The fried chicken is decent. It's crisp. It's definitely they live up to the name Crispy King, right? Um, and what else? Yeah, yeah, Michael, absolutely. Yeah, it's so nice. It's like it's been a surprise to meet so many people from where we're from, and it's a pleasant surprise, right? Because like sometimes you wonder how much do I have in common with other Americans other than we're from the United States. It's a really big country. So to be able to meet people who, we have shared experiences, we've been to probably some of the same music venues. We've eaten some of the similar cuisine. We're probably familiar with the same sports teams. Like, it's just it's a comforting feeling when you're so far away from home, right? I mean, here we are on the opposite side of the planet. We're about as far as you can get from the US. And, I think we're what, like 12 hours ahead of central time zone here. So we're like the direct opposite side of the planet. And it's just been really nice to be able to interact with people that have similar backgrounds, and also hanging out with Paul and Mike. Like, both of them had lived in California, which I had that experience. So it's definitely, there's a stronger connection there than I would have anticipated, right? Because some people are saying, oh, well, US is a big country. Like, what do you have in common with other Americans? But I found it to be great. We've all had yeah, absolutely. Michael, absolutely agree. Yes, it is comforting to know I can chat with people with similarities. 100%, right? I mean, there's definitely some people over here with an IT background, um, and then also, of course, the YouTubers, right? Like, they're not IT professionals, but they're definitely heavily reliant upon information technology to be able to deliver to their audiences. It's Yeah, it's a cool vibe here for sure. I wasn't sure if I'd like Dumaguete or not, but I do like it a lot. Now, if I were to settle here in the Philippines long term, could I live in Dumaguete? I'm not sure if I could. There's a few reasons for that. One, I feel like I'm more oriented toward bigger cities. It's just where I lived growing up and where I've lived as an adult. It's not a big city vibe here. uh, it's definitely, I could see why it caters to retired people, right? Guys who are looking to just chill out, relax, not be in hustle and grind mode, um, not be trying to build a business. It's also somewhat saturated with vloggers, just to be transparent. I mean, there's a lot of vloggers here. Of course, there's Mike, there's Paul, foreigner in the Philippines, one of the individuals I met. There's Sizzy Kelly, she's based here. Who else is based? Filipina P is based here. So that's five right off the top of my head. Um, but it seems like everybody's got a vlog here. There's just so many different vloggers here. So if you're trying to cover the area, I personally feel like there's limited new ground. You're gonna run out of content to some extent. Now, I think the guys with more established audiences, the guys that are catering to retirees, they're gonna always have content to cover, right? Because there's always going to be a stream of guys who hit retirement age, who are financially independent, that will land here. But I think as far as younger vloggers, like, you make it up to you make it down to Darwin, Valencia. I made it up to Valencia last weekend. Once you make it over to Siquijor, Sibulan, once you've kind of seen the area, um, most of the attractions are the natural attractions, and so I feel like if you're trying to do new stuff on a consistent basis, it's a little bit of it can be a little bit of a challenge, right? Um, I would admit too, like, it's something I'm going to contradict myself here. I thought dating would be fine here. I'm finding out, it is somewhat saturated, right? There's tons of foreigners here. It's also not the biggest city. Like, in Cebu, you've got millions of people. In Manila, you've got millions of people. Here, I think it's like a few 100,000 people in the metro area, and so I think it's more of a place that if you're dating, if you've found a significant other, and you want to bring them to somewhere that's an enjoyable place to live, then then I think that this is the spot for that. Michael, that's a great question. Have you ever tried more southern Luzon areas like Cavite, or ever plan to? I would like to. Michael, long term, my goal is to see most of the country. I don't know if I'll make it to Cavite on this trip. It kind of depends on, it depends on just if I get a job offer back home and I got to go. then I'll have to delay seeing more of the country until my next trip. I do plan to come back here again. Um, so that's something that may happen on my next trip, right? Where next trip I land in Manila and then I focus on Luzon because this is my second trip to the Visayan region, um, or Visayas region. Uh, I have tentative plans to go to Mindanao in a few weeks. So in a few weeks, I'm looking at taking a ferry to Dapitan, and then I'll take a bus to Cagayan de Oro, and then either take a bus into Malaybalay or ride with my buddy, right? So it depends on what day I land. If he's already up in the mountains, Malaybalay, then of course I'm not going to ask him to come back down the mountain, pick me up, and take me back up. So I'll just hop in a bus and go up there. I'd like to spend a month in Malaybalay. And why don't I pull up a map here? That's what I'm missing here. We can share the screen. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm here in Dumaguete. And so my tentative plan is to take a ferry, and you basically take the ferry. I think it's about a 4-hour ride, and you land in Dapitan. And I haven't been to Dapitan, so that'll be interesting. I'm not sure. I think the earliest ferry runs at midnight, and the last one runs at 2 p.m. So you've got like a 14-hour window there. Uh, I'm tempted to go for the midnight one because landing there at 4 a.m. and then taking the bus means I'll be able to get to Malaybalay um, during daylight hours. And I find that just to be helpful in the Philippines to try to travel more do your arrival during daylight hours. Because if you're not familiar with the area, it's just easier to see, easier to navigate. If you run out of data, you need to buy load for your phone. It's easier to do during daylight hours. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, so kind of tentative plans. There's two plans. If I go to Malaybalay, this is what I'll be doing. If I go to Cebu, I'll also share that. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to look different from this plan. So land in Dapitan. I'll take a bus, and we can just see here. Okay, I don't know why that's wacky. Yeah, so that's not as bad, 8 hours, but I guess it could be delayed more. So then I'd take I'd take the bus, and we'd go through Depot. Well, I guess this is a little bit different. So yeah, I go through here, come down through Alsamis, through Iligan, stop in Cagayan de Oro. I think there's a transfer point. I've been to the bus terminal in Cagayan de Oro, and then transfer, and then go up through the mountains here and into Malaybalay. And it's a cooler city weather-wise, so that's something I'm really looking forward to if I do go this route. It should be interesting. But yeah, Michael, great question. I think Luzon is interesting. I want to give Luzon the attention it deserves, right? I mean, I think with Luzon, there's a lot to see. It is the new capital region, right? So you've got a lot of conveniences up there. Of course, you've got proximity to Manila. You've got Batangas, which Batangas is interesting to me. Hey Alex, your demeanor is brighter than your last stop. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's been tough, right? Like I'm tentatively planning my return, and that's always an unhappy circumstance. It's unfortunately, these days it's never fun to go back to the United States. Each time I've had to do that in the past, it hasn't been super pleasant. It is just part of not being, financially independent. I know that I'll get there. Coincidentally, I'm doing better financially than I was when I got here, right? So like I've managed to moderate my spending so much, and then I also had growth in my investments that I'm doing better on paper than I was a year ago. Now I don't know how much of that is impacted by inflation. Obviously, prices have continued to go up in the last year. Not looking forward to paying those ridiculous American prices, but yeah, I'm just trying to sort out my opportunities and select my next opportunity back home. If I don't get an offer, I'll probably go back in January, because I have confidence that I could find something that's not ideal, right? Not in software sales, but it's yeah. I just need to add to the cash pile. Sorry about that, Macau Streets. Thank you for the heads up on that. Mm, Michael mentioned the screen is kind of going black. It may be my connection. My connection here uh, maybe struggling a little bit. Um, it's probably a peak internet usage hour, right? So everybody's off work and they're at home, and so probably everybody's online. And yeah, I could imagine it's definitely there's a heavy load being placed right now on the IT systems. Chris says planning a trip to Yogyakarta in a few weeks. Enjoy, Christopher. I hope you have a wonderful time in Yogyakarta. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your experiences in yoga. I think it's just it's going to be a really interesting cultural experience. You'll probably learn a lot. And I'm sure you can learn a lot online, but being there in person, um, seeing the sights in person is a whole nother level. And I'm sure you'll encounter wonderful locals who have a lot to share about their um, their city, and it's a sizable city too. Something I've learned about Indonesia, partly through you, Chris, is that it's really populated, right? Like there's a ton of people there. So for those who may may not be as into small towns, like I think Yoga is like 3 or 4 million people. It's a pretty sizable city, so it'll be interesting to hear about your experiences there for sure. Um, let's get caught up here. If you want, so Macau is a great question. If you want to stay long term, if you stay long term in the Philippines, what 3 reasons why you'll do that, and where in the Philippines? That's a great question. So for me, if I stay long term in the Philippines, one would be having a significant other here. If I end up in a committed relationship with a woman here, then naturally I'd want to stay here. So that's the number one reason, significant other. Two would be the English. I it's definitely been really good for my mental health to be here and speaking English with people, being able to talk to so many people. On one hand, I think I'm introverted. On the other hand, it's like I don't know how much of that is just being in the US, where it's just people aren't super social like they used to be. I think that people here are still very, very social. Like the other night, last weekend, had an amazing time. Went out to this. It's like a singing competition they had among different local high schools. I ended up meeting the principal of one of the high schools, and then he's trying to set me up with one of his vice principals. It was hilarious. It really was hilarious. Um, and talking to different people. I mean, it was just meeting one person after another. I just would talk to so many different people, and they're so friendly here. Like the people here are so friendly, so kind and warm and welcoming, curious. And I could be kind of a private person, but I'd ask them questions about them and their lives, and show also a lot of enthusiasm for the Philippines, because I do have a lot of love for this country. I think it's just a really special country with amazing people. So yeah, one, relationships. Two, English. The third would be ease of visas, right? I mean, it's just very easy for Americans to sort out a visa to stay here long term. You get the sense that they want you to stay, and so having that confidence of knowing, hey, I could stay here for up to 3 years. If I get married at some point, then I would pivot to the what's called a 13A visa. Um, so knowing that there's that longevity, that it's a long-term kind of a place, it's not something where, oh, I've been here a year and oh, who knows what's gonna. No, no. I mean, there's Americans that have been living here for many, many years. So yeah, knowing that Americans are welcome, knowing that I can sort out a visa and not be kind of, yeah, I mean, there's some level of nervousness, right? I mean, you want to make sure um, you follow all of the processes to get your visa done. You don't want to let that lapse. I think it's very important to follow all the proper rules, regulations, the visa requirements as a foreigner. It's not something I take lightly, the privilege to stay here long term. But yeah, great question, Macau Streets. Christopher says taking the luxury train. I will grab some photos and share during the trip. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that experience is like. I thought you'd have to fly, so the fact that you could take a luxury train is even better. I'm sure that's going to be a really nice experience for you. If you ever want to talk about stock options or high yield dividends, ping me. Definitely, Michael. I'll definitely reach out to you. That's something that, once I've got like some kind of regular income back home, it's something I need to get more into because I'm part of the way there, right? I'm not at zero. I'm not in the position where I'm trying to build, some wealth totally from scratch or totally from zero. But I'm not where I need to be, right? And so I need to sort out like the grind, right? To grind to where I need to be. Because once I hit my financial independence number, then I can come over here and not ever worry about going back home. And that'll be a great feeling on that day. It'll also be confusing, right? To like not have that same sense of urgency and rushing that I feel like I'm in now to some extent. Like I'm trying to rush toward financial independence because I mean, life in the States ain't getting any cheaper. You know, wages have definitely been negatively impacted by the downturn in tech. Meanwhile, like I said, expenses, rent higher than ever. But yeah, great question, Michael, for sure. Great, thank you so much for offering. And yeah, we'll have to get together at some point and chat about it. If you go to Luzon, I'd recommend Baguio and Tagaytay. Yeah, that's a great idea, Macau Streets. Why don't we zoom up there? Tagaytay. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Wow, that's incredible. Looks like they're building a hotel here. I love the fog too. I think that's fog. It's yeah, it's gorgeous up there. I am talking to a woman in Cebu, so I wanted to mention that, and that'll be kind of the next topic of this live stream. We'll go for another 30 minutes. I think I'm going to try to cut these down to an hour for the near future because I think I just get kind of worn out beyond an hour, and to keep the quality up, and it's yeah, I think they're just better at an hour for right now. Anyway, I also got a ton of different things going on, so. Michael says, I plan to visit Tagaytay and Batangas. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful time in Tagaytay and Batangas, Michael. I think both are great. So Michael asks, what are your main IT proficiencies? I'm curious about your history and experiences. Yeah, so let's see here. We'll zoom out. So I'm more on the sales side, Michael. I did my first IT job was a help desk job. That was okay. It was just a seasonal role for a retailer, Kirkland's. If I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kirkland's, but I worked there for a season. Yeah, so I most of my experience, Michael, is on the sales side. So actually, like selling IT services. So I started off at a company and I'm not going to name them out of respect. I liked them, by the way, a lot, but that was more in helping them with contract renewals. So I was an account manager, and this is a IT digital ops platform. Also, Michael, I'm happy to PM you these separately offline. I just, out of respect for them, I it's been so long since I worked at that retailer. I didn't mind mentioning them, but some of my more recent experience, I prefer not to share it on stream, but happy to PM you separately. But yeah, I was an account manager there, so not I was in a non-technical role, so helping them to, uh, you know, have maintain those relationships with customers, helping the customers to get their accounts renewed, upgrading their packages, increasing their license counts, getting those contracts signed to prevent lapses in service. And then I pivoted toward more of the hardcore, what I call hardcore sales at a fintech company, where I was actually doing a lot of cold calling, cold emailing, trying to get meetings set, right? Trying to set appointments for our fintech solution. So not in the sense of like working with SQL or interacting with databases, but actually doing more of the business side of the company. Um, so I call it IT because it's, working for tech companies, but not in a what I would call non-technical role. Um, but like I also looked into going back for my master's in IT. I just, the my concern about going back to school is like it just kind of pushes me moving over here down the line several more years. I would like to be moved over here in 3 or 4 years, as opposed to 6 or 7. I know I should be patient. I know all of you guys have done your time. Like I've talked to Mike and Paul about this as well. Is like, to move over here in your 30s, pretty big ask. I mean, it's still pretty early. Um, but at the same time, to me, it's like it's not about the journey. It really is about the destination. Like the Philippines is an incredible country. I'm so much happier here. I feel so much more fulfilled here. Um, I look forward to getting out and interacting with people. So, yeah, Journey with our Miracle Premium. Welcome, Journey. This is my first time having you on the stream. I think I've seen you on a few other streams before, but yeah, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. It looks like you may have a channel. I'm definitely happy to check it out when I get some time. Bohol is a great island to retire. We have a lot to do here. We have Panglao with its white sand beaches. Yeah, Panglao is high on my list. So when I was in Cebu last time, I actually dated a woman from Bohol, and she was telling me all about it, how wonderful it is, how beautiful it is. She only relocated to Cebu for work, right? So she's working in a call center. But every on the holidays, she would take a ferry from Cebu back to Bohol and to spend time with her family. And she always had a lot of positive things to say about Bohol. I think it's like, why don't we pull that up? Actually, I'll come down here to Bohol Panglao. We can pull that up. Yeah, I mean, it looks like something out of a movie. It's just it's stunning. Like that's absolutely gorgeous. And you're making a solid case, Journey, for me to come check out Bohol at some point. Maybe if I go up to Cebu for a month, I could do like a weekend trip out to Bohol. Like I said, I'm talking to a woman in Cebu, speaking of which. Yeah, I'll get back to her after the stream. But yeah, I mean, it's that's one of those beautiful things about Cebu is that if you want to, I do apologize, by the way, guys, if you hear some dog noise in the background. I went to try to check it out, but I think it may be a neighbor. Um, but it's yeah, it's super beautiful. I mean, this looks like something out of a movie. It's really incredible. A lot of nice places to go swimming. Um, Yeah, Michael, I'll definitely be sure to PM you because I wouldn't mind transferring to more technical side, but it's like I don't know that I have the certs for that. I know you mentioned the AWS cert. Another friend of mine has mentioned getting a Salesforce cert. I think my personality is more suited toward more technical roles. I just don't have the technical skill set yet. I did make it to a junior level in computer science, which I feel like shows some technical aptitude, but um, geez, man, that dog is having a rough time. So there's an older blogger named Barry that lives not far from me, and he invited me and my girl to come stay a couple days with him and his wife. They're going to show us some cool places. I think you're going to have a wonderful time, Michael. I feel like you can't go wrong here in the Philippines. There's so many nice places to see. Some people make the point, oh, they're all, the islands look similar. I don't feel that way personally. I think they all look interesting and unique. I think a better way to kind of separate them is like big city versus small town versus more like resort or vacation area. Like Manila and Cebu, big cities, right? If you're a big city person, they're perfect for that. You've got the high rises, you've got the skyscrapers, the modern shopping malls. Um, you've got you've got a lot of different activities there as far as like big city uh, things to do. And then the small towns, you got more of a laid back vibe. You get to know people, talk to people a bit more. And then the resorts, it's like all about the beaches, right? The beaches and the mountains. So I think there's a lot of variety here, and I'm glad to hear that you've got some hosts, Michael, that are going to help show you around. And yeah, I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. He lives in Alfonso, so why don't I pull up Alfonso? Oh, okay. Oh wow, I love the fake snow. I got confused for a moment, Michael. I'm thinking, oh, is this really the Philippines? Because we never see snow here, but it's yeah, this looks stunning, and I love the Christmas spirit. I mean, I think Christmas is going to be starting next month here in the Philippines, and it will go on until January. That's a really something I love about here. Um, Good. Yeah, the bananas are delicious here too. I mean, they are so fresh and sweet. The my host family here, the lady Anita, she boiled some, and so I got to taste the boiled versus the fresh. I think I like the boiled a little bit better. It's the texture is different. It's a little bit. It's just a different flavor, but I definitely enjoy the boiled a lot. The fresh is good too. I mean, you can't go wrong, but the boiled I think is my preference. GMM, welcome, welcome. Good evening from Bangkok. Eating dinner almost 7 p.m. Are you enjoying the Philippines? Yeah, GMM, it was a great decision to come here. I've had so many opportunities to socialize, to meet different people. Um, been talking up a storm, just getting to know different people and socializing. It's been a lot of fun. What are you having for dinner in Bangkok, GMM? Journey says, yeah, we are building our second little house here at Buena Vista, Bohol. It's right across from Cebu City. Yeah, and see, I think that's where you have the best of both worlds, Journey, is that, let's back up here. Um, let's go down here. You can, you can easily get to Cebu City, right? So if you're ever wanting the big city vibe, you can easily go there. You can do your shopping. You can probably have. I mean, I've heard there's plenty of international cuisine in Bohol, but if there's something you want that you don't have there, you can go up to Cebu. You can experience that. You get that vibrancy. You could probably. I'm sure you got some friends in Cebu City as well. It seems like everybody's got friends in Cebu. Everybody I talk to anyway has friends in Cebu. And then you go back to your tropical paradise, right? Cebu is tropical, but certainly it's more of a business city, right? It's a city people go to do business, and a place where people will go for healthcare. A little bit different vibe than Bohol. I like them all, right? I like them all. Um, you're in Northwest Bohol. Okay, so that makes it even easier. I mean, if you're over here, it's probably a faster ferry ride. Now, I'm not sure if you go to Tagbilaran, uh, if you come down here to Tagbilaran to take the ferry. I'm not sure if you can take the ferry direct from some of these other cities, but yeah, great options there. GMM, now in the Philippines, you have a chance to practice driving a scooter, or just go to a really small town and pay a guy to teach you. Yeah, I mean, some of my friends here have been pushing me to ride a scooter, and it's like, I need to learn. Like, this is, I want to learn, but I don't want to do trial and error. Just like the turns are what get me. I'm fine accelerating, decelerating. It's knowing how to turn safely is a big part of what I want to get, down. Some of my friends have said, "Oh, if you can ride a bicycle, you're fine." But like, I still would like to learn. So that's what I'll do. I think that's a good point. Is just pay somebody to teach me, take some time with me, and show me how to ride safely. I think it's worth the time investment. I think it's worth the money investment to because it's potentially very dangerous. I mean, I hear and see about it all the time. People getting in accidents and getting hurt. Riding because they don't know what they're doing. They're not accustomed to it, and so that's a good call. I just need to find maybe what, Jim. Actually, you just let me motorbike lessons. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go to this driving school. There, I found a driving school here. I'm gonna go down there and ask them to just teach me, um, because yeah, that way I can be safe about it, learn from professionals, and it'll be all around better. The big bananas that people like in the West are the most tasteless. Absolutely agree, GMM. They taste like, I don't know, they just don't taste like anything. I think partly because they have to use preservatives, and they're also not fresh, right? They're coming from the Caribbean, or that's where I think that's where they're coming from, and so by the time they get there, you're getting a subpar product, and you're paying a premium for them. I mean, here you just pull them out of trees, right? But there, they've gone up to like probably 45 cents a pound or something. So they're not exactly cheap like they used to be. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you could get them for like 19 cents a pound or 29 cents a pound, and they don't really taste like anything, but they also don't really cost anything. But why pay a lot for something that just doesn't taste like anything? The bananas in Thailand were really good. I used to get those sometimes in Chiang Mai, GMM, from the local farmers market, and yeah, they're kind of plantains, the kind of the small ones. Really good stuff there. The smaller bananas here are much better. Yeah, I agree, Michael. They definitely have a better taste. Speaking of which, I need to have some Tyrone at some point. I remember Tyrone from my last trip here. They're almost like these banana-filled egg rolls. They put caramel on top, and they're really, really tasty. I saw a place at the mall here in Dumaguete at Robinson's that offers those, and yeah, I'd like to go try that. GMM says holy basil stir fry with pork and a fried runny egg, pat krapao mu, 70 baht. Yeah, that's something that Thailand does really well. Some of the best cuisine in the world. I love that holy basil stir fry. I used to get that a lot for breakfast in Bangkok. I'd walk by the Thailand, like I guess it was Thailand Girl Scouts or whatever. And so to help raise money for their organization, the scout master, I don't know what you'd call her, the leader, she'd like set up a table outside and she'd be selling the pad krapao with fried egg. And I think I mean, it was I don't know how they were making much money. It was like 40 baht or something like that. I mean, it was very, very economical. But I'd go and pick that up and toss it in my backpack. They'd serve it to you in this plastic tray, and I'd toss it in my backpack, take it back to my apartment, and I'd have that for breakfast. And then that'd be after a workout. So I'd go to the gym. I was a member of Jets Fitness at the time, and do my workout, and then pick that up and go back and eat that. Sometimes I'd grab a coffee as well for 7-Eleven, but great way to start the day. Can't go wrong with that. You can Journey says you can catch a ferry to Cebu from Getafe 1 hour. Oh, that's so fast. Yeah, you can't beat that 1 hour. I mean, that's there's people that commute longer for work. So to get to Cebu in an hour, you've got you got an amazing location there, Journey. I mean, to have the beach vibe, to have the relaxed setting, but then also be an hour away from Cebu. I'm sure there's people who live in Cebu that take longer than 1 hour to get to work. Um, I know the woman I'm talking to, she happens to live close to work, but I'm sure there are other people who do have to do more of a super commute. So, yeah, I think your location is very, very special. I could see why you would decide to live there, and I'm sure your significant other is part of that. She may be from that area, but in that case, her family chose very well. Um, Barry, not Barry, very good. Um, Journey says should try the fried bananas on a stick. Got it. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for those. Um, and then Michael says banana Q. My favorite is the mangosteen fruit. Mangosteen is my favorite fruit too, Journey. Mangosteen, it's like the perfect blend of sour and sweet. I like it better even than the longan and the what's the other one? There's longan, and then there's another one in that family of fruits, rambutan. So I like it better than the longan and better than the rambutan. It's just got the texture is like softer, I think. But yeah, mangosteen is my favorite fruit. I used to get it all the time in Thailand. I mean, the prices for it in Thailand are, I'd say, half the price of here, and so it's something I could have. I mean, I used to specifically go to the fruit market in Bangkok, and I'd sometimes buy like 3 kilos and just just take it back to my apartment, go through 3 kilos. I had a vendor that was really consistent as far as quality goes, and yeah, mangosteen is one of my favorite fruits. Sometimes I get durian as well if I was feeling like a high roller, and I'd eat the mangosteen and the durian because the mangosteen is considered what they call a cooling fruit, and the durian is like a heating fruit. And so you get this interesting kind of effect where you maintain your temperature, as opposed to if you just eat the durian, you feel kind of hot, and if you just eat the mangosteen, well, just eating the mangosteen is fine because you're in a hot tropical environment, so that's nice. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, Michael, you gotta try mangosteen sometime. It's like let's see here. I could pull up an image of it. So this is mangosteen. I just kind of squeeze them and tear them, and then you get this white fruit. Some vendors, for whatever reason, their quality is a little bit less consistent. I haven't had any here, by the way, but in Thailand or in Vietnam, and you open it up and it's kind of rotten, unfortunately. But some vendors I've had are awesome, and the entire bag is good. But yeah, it's got this soft white flesh. Be careful because the purple part can be staining, Michael. So you won't want to wear like a white shirt or a light colored shirt when you're having this. But it's amazing. I mean, it's uh, it's just so tasty. I could just eat kilo after kilo of these, um, and just yeah, and never get in the next day and the next day. It's something I just can't get tired of. It's rare in that regard. Um, yeah, mango is amazing. I think mango is actually the national fruit of the Philippines, and the mango here is delicious. One of the best desserts I've ever had in my life was at the mall, SM City Mall in Cebu in the Reclamation area, and it was this like mango. It had mango in it. It had like whipped cream. It had cake. I think it was like 100 pesos or something like that. One of the best desserts I've ever had anywhere in the world. It was amazing. I still think about that dessert. And if I make it back up to Cebu, I'm going to be going back to SM City to try to get it again. The mango is perfectly ripe, sweet and juicy, flavorful. That brilliant yellow orange color. It's Yeah, it's amazing. And I've been talking to my friends from India too, and they're like, "Oh wow, we have that in India." And so there's just this nice connection that you feel to yeah, to other friends. Um, Star Apple. Have I tried? Let me pull up Star Apple. That sounds familiar. Star Apple. Is this is this guava? I don't know if I've tried this one, Michael. This one looks really good though. I like the colors. The colors of the fruit in this part of the world are just so vibrant. I see. No, I have seen it. Um, what do they call that? They call it. I think I think they call it star fruit. I've occasionally seen it in the West, but you'll pay like $10 equivalent for just one of these fruits. So not something I'm able to justify spending on. But over here, it's much more accessible. I've seen these. I saw these in Vietnam. Occasionally, I'd see one on the ground. Of course, I'm not going to pick it up and eat it, but I'd see it on the ground sometimes. Maybe a vendor had one fall off their truck. What does it taste like? What does the star apple taste like, Michael? Um, GMM says downside with Philippines, if they don't grow it locally, it has to be transported with a ferry. That makes the prices higher. Certainly, I mean, definitely, that's definitely a reality. GMM is if the product is not produced locally, then we do, we do have to pay a premium for it. Never tried Star Apple. We'll look for them in the night market near me. Yeah, keep an eye out for it. I don't know if I ever saw it in Thailand, GMM, but it may have just been I wasn't, uh, I wasn't going to a big enough market. Oh, very sweet and soft, nothing like an apple. Okay, I want to try that, Michael, because that sounds amazing. It's something that if I see it here in Dumaguete, I'm going down to the city tomorrow. I'm staying in Bakong, so I'm actually staying outside of the city. I'm going down to the city tomorrow. I'll go to the fruit market and I'll ask around for it because that sounds really good. Very sweet and soft. I like soft fruits. Um, yeah, I like soft fruits a lot. And I think that's something that you'll like about mangosteen, Michael, is it's very, very soft and tender. It's got the sweet and the sour flavors. There's nothing like it. It's in Thailand they call it the queen of all fruits. So in durian, with durian is the king of fruits, and then mangosteen is the queen of fruits. Not sure what to compare it to. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on. I like dragon fruit a lot. Why don't we pull up dragon fruit here? I haven't yet tried it here. I've seen a few vendors for it, but I'm a fan of dragon fruit. It's got a mild flavor, but I find it to be really nice for hydrating. So like if I'm a little bit dehydrated and I'm drinking water, I find it's also nice to mix it up and have some of this dragon fruit. It's it's another one of those things that I got to try here because back home it's just so pricey that it's just really not accessible. It's also not fresh back home. I mean, they've got to transport it such a far distance. I did try it I did have one in San Francisco, and that was a nice reminder of this part of the world. But yeah, dragon fruit is incredible. Love testing new things. Nobody remembers a wimp. Yeah, I mean, this is a great part of the world to to try new things. It's just so different than where we're from, and yeah, you can just have so many interesting fruits for sure. Um, Star apples are good. We have a big tree. Oh, that's got to be amazing. You can go and have it anytime you want, Journey. You could just pick it out and chop it up and have it fresh, like as fresh as it gets, right? You can't beat having a tree in your yard. Like you're not even having to buy it at the market and wait till you get home. You have it right there at your kitchen table or um, your dining room table. Like that's so nice. That sounds like an incredible place that you've got. That you are surrounded by these wonderful fruit trees. I'm sure you've got some other fruit trees as well. Probably some coconut trees there, and it's a nice visual too, just to see, uh, just to be surrounded by life. Is so. I think that's why partly why Southeast Asia is so appealing is that in the West we have these kind of rough winters, and it seems like everything shuts down, right? You don't have that here. Like you've got a kind of a winter, kind of, but it's still not really a winter. The weather just cools off a bit. It doesn't get super cold though, so everything keeps growing and stuff grows super fast here as well. GMM says smoothie with dragon fruit and watermelon equals 5 star. I haven't tried that combination. Um, Yeah, I have. I haven't had the combination in a smoothie, but I have had that combination just like at my condo table when I lived in Chiang Mai. I had a great watermelon vendor. It's like 40 baht for like a sizable watermelon, and then the dragon fruit was I think it was like 40 baht a kilo or 50. It was pretty reasonable. So I'd buy both and chop them up and then have them together at my kitchen table. It was a really nice combination. GMM says if you're unsure, just ask the vendor or the fruit auntie to show you how to eat. That's a good, yeah, that's absolutely a great way to enjoy things here is just asking people because they're excited about it, right? Like they're excited about their product. They know people love it. They know it makes people's day. It's such a simple joy in life to have the fresh fruits that we have here in Southeast Asia. It's a big part of what I love about this part of the world is that you have all these what I call simple pleasures. You're not, you're not thinking, oh man, I need to go. The only thing that'll make me happy is a mansion or a fancy sports car. It's like a simple piece of fruit can really rejuvenate, invigorate your day, put a smile on your face. It's something that's nice to share too, right? Very easy to share fruit. You just need to cut it up. But yeah, yeah, Journey. I mean, I think that's incredible. You've got a big tree in your yard. Um, I yeah, it's such a special part of the world here that we're so fortunate to be able to spend time in, and it lends itself too to living in the moment, right? Being in the present, enjoying the present moment. Um, that's another big part of living over here that I love is that you know we are more often living in the moment. We are more often thinking about the simple things in life, the things that uh, it's not necessarily easy to move to a different country. And in doing so and undertaking these challenges, we create a lot of meaning in our lives. And enjoying the fruit is a celebration of that meaning, right? The amount of hard work that that tree did to produce that piece of fruit, Mother Nature raining a lot to stimulate the tree to grow because these fruits are like really water intensive, right? So if you're used to a dry climate, like I've lived in Colorado and in California, very dry states. You just don't have the year-round fruit that you have here, right? You've got like in Colorado, you've got like a peach season, and you got apricots. Of course, California's got a lot, but that a lot of that is more related to their them modifying the environment there, like through irrigation. Here, that's not needed. Like stuff just grows in people's yards, and it's beautiful to look at. Like I like just riding around in Dumaguete and seeing all the palm trees, the coconut trees. It's just such a visually stunning place. Like the region in general, Thailand is very similar. Like a very visually appealing place. It's very it's intellectually stimulating too. I feel like it stimulates my mind, and yeah, I really enjoy being in this part of the world. But does anybody have any last thoughts or questions? We're coming up on an hour now, so I think I'm going to wind the stream down. It's been it's been a great time catching up with everybody. Welcome as well to the channel journey. I think you're a new subscriber. Much appreciated for your viewership and your sharing about your life in Bohol. I'm definitely will try to drop you. Well, one, I'll check out your channel, but two, I'll try to drop you a line if I make it out that way. I'd love to, uh, link up at some point, maybe get a cup of coffee. Kuya Sid, there are many dragon fruits in the Philippines. Yeah, lots of dragon fruit here. I've seen a ton at the fruit market. GMM, moving condos tomorrow. By the way, I did find a nice, bigger one-bedroom with a pool and gym in the On-Nut area, 310 per month. I wonder if I can even rent a tent in any Western country for that. Yeah, probably not, GMM. You're probably living in a car for that. I had a similar conversation with Mike about that, where he's talking about his rent, and I'm like, yeah, you'd probably be, probably be in a rough digs for those kinds of prices in the West. Michael says, have nothing to, but always great chatting with you and listening to your story on your path. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate your insight. Seeing somebody from where I'm from achieving this kind of lifestyle is inspiring to me. It pushes me to continue to work hard, try to grind it out. I know it's attainable for me. I've seen it in action, and you're part of that story, Michael. It's a great place for a kid to grow up. We brought our daughter. That must be your miracle preemie. She's so fortunate to be growing up in such a wholesome environment. I see the Philippines as being a very wholesome country, a very family-oriented country, a very relationship-oriented country. It's I could go on and on about how much I love the culture. I'll probably do a stream about that at some point, maybe even a video about it at some point. But it's been such a welcoming and wonderful place here. But yeah, Kuya said, good Philippines dragon fruit. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope everybody has a great weekend if I don't catch you this weekend. And yeah, we'll see you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.